What's up, dudes? This is Sylvite Soltis back again to continue reminiscing about the good old days of vanilla World of Warcraft. Last time, I told about how my brother and I created our first ever characters and explored the world that is Shire Abbey. Well, today, I want to continue that journey. In all honesty, I don't actually remember too much about completing the vineyard quests that I mentioned that I finished the last video on. Only that I died a few times doing them before my turn on the game was finished, and then my brother took over for a second turn. So while I was waiting for him to finish, I played some Super Mario 3 with our friend, and I didn't want to spoil anything, so I didn't want to watch what he was doing. But eventually, though, I got my second turn on the game, and I finally got up to the Garrick Padfoot quest that marked the end of Shire. That was a fun experience for a noob like me. The first time I pulled him, I didn't think to take out the two Defias bodyguard guys that were next to him, and with 3 tough enemies versus 1 newbie priest, it wasn't pretty. My brother laughed at me as he'd done the quest with no issues apparently, and still, I learned pretty quick and tried to kill 1 bodyguard the next time and run from the others. Again, I died like a scrub. After getting back to my body again and fighting my way through the enemies that had respawned along the path, I found a group of people standing over by his shack and about ready to attack him. Luckily, they saw me approach and I was invited to a group. Great success! This time we easily beat the 3 enemies, with me using lesser heal probably way too much for the damage that was coming out. When we all collected his head, they said thanks, and I stood there wondering what to do. I had no idea how to reply, so I just ran back to the Abbey to turn in the quest. Turning to my friend, who was playing Nintendo with my brother at this point, I asked how I could talk with other people in this game. Of course, he laughed at my ignorance, as friends do, and then told me how to do it, and boom, I had a way to communicate with other people. The world was opening up more and more. I turned in the quests, checked my trainer for new spells, even though I was only level 5 and the new ones weren't available till level 6, and I faced the wall out of the starting zone. Running along the path, I looked at all the surrounding sights. Trees of the forest, cows, wolves running around, and a patrolling salesman walking along the road. I was entranced. Before long, I came to a small town, complete with only 2 or 3 buildings, but several people running to and fro. I had reached Shire. Honestly, I don't remember much about exactly what I did in Shire at this point, but I know that I didn't know how to change my Hearthstone location, so later I would teleport all the way back to Shire. One thing I do remember clearly, however, was the fact that there were profession trainers for blacksmithing and mining around one of the buildings. So curious, I asked my friend what these things were, and again got laughed at. He explained that these were profession trainers, and you could train 2 of them. He told me that, as a priest, I shouldn't pick up mining or blacksmithing, but go with tailoring and enchanting because I could sew my own equipment and enchant it to be better, or disenchant old or useless items I didn't need. This is what he was doing on his mage, so I figured he knew what he was talking about, and trained those 2 professions right away. This is where my first day of WoW ended as far as I can remember. Eventually I would drop enchanting, as I couldn't really figure out what the hell to do to get items to disenchant. In other words, I sucked. But I picked up skinning, which remained my second skill for years to come. Anyway, my journey through Elwynn Forest continued for a few weeks. Yes, weeks. Since I didn't have a computer or a copy of World of Warcraft for myself, I could only level while over at my friend's house. And even then, my brother and I took turns if we were both over, so it took a long time. But it was an adventure, all the way. I remember constantly looking forward to the dreaded orchard that my friend had told me about the first time I'd seen him play, but never getting a quest for it. Eventually, I found out that it was part of a mage class quest, so no wonder I never got it. Again, my memories of Elwynn back in the day are fuzzy at this point. But there's one last memory that's still super clear for some reason. No, it's not the infamous Hogger quest or the Murloc camp with the guards' corpses over by the Eastvale logging camp. I remember those from repetition later on, but not really from my first time playing. No, the last real quest I remember doing before moving on to Westfall was the level 9 quest to kill Princess, the prized pig that was stealing the Stonefields' vegetables. After getting the quest, I wandered back and forth between the Stonefield and McClure farms, scouring the area for the right pig, but never finding her. After wasting about 15 minutes going back and forth, my friend asked me what the heck I was doing running around in circles. When I told him I was looking for Princess, he chuckled and told me that he'd done the same thing. Then he said to read the quest text carefully. A bit embarrassed at being so thick, I opened the quest log to find that I'd been searching all over the wrong farms all along. I had to go to the Brackwell pumpkin patch on the other side of the zone. Oops. Well, after a good 10 minutes of running around, I finally found the farm that I hadn't discovered yet, and there she was, a level 9 hostile pig with 2 other pigs patrolling the field. I was level 8 or 9 at this point, but I was still total crap when it came to multiple mobs at once. Still, I gave it a shot, and I died. So I ran back to my body to res for what must have been the 10th time by this point, waited for my health and mana, and then hit /Y. Anyone doing Princess Must Die? Luckily, someone was nearby and must have noticed my red text because I got a group invite to a group with 3 others in it. As 2 of them made their way over from Shire, I watched Princess as she paced back and forth. With 4 people, we made quick work of her and her entourage. As I looted her collar, I had a sensational feeling about this game and the camaraderie that it fostered among the players. Up until then, I'd mostly played single-player RPGs and never had the kinds of experiences I was having in this game. It really felt like a live and vibrant world of Warcraft. Anyway, that's basically the last memory that I have of my first run through Elwynn Forest back in 2005. I know there were a lot more things that happened, but I really can't tell much in detail. I got a purple robe from my class quest, I fought Hogger and killed some wildlife and Defias dudes around the zone, but it's basically all just a blur other than the things I've mentioned here. I hope you enjoyed this installment of my story. If you did, feel free to leave a like, give a comment with your own Starter Zone stories, Elwynn, Duratar, etc. And I'll be sure to read each one. Remember to subscribe for more content going forward, and in the next installment I will tell you a little bit about my adventures in Westfall killing boars that have no livers and dying in Moonbrook, as well as my first WoW friend. Until then though, take it easy guys.